everybody, it's Alicia. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Alicia and this is my daughter, Alexia. I just want to apologize if I keep looking that way. My camera is over here, but I tend to look at myself this way. I promise I'm not crazy. I'm just, yeah. And she's also looking at herself. But anyways, today I am going to be telling my 19 and pregnant story. I told you guys I was going to do this a while back. Since I didn't really start YouTube until my second trimester, so I'm just going to be filling you guys in with the beginning and just the end, everything in between and all of that. So I hope you all enjoy this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do, and don't forget to subscribe, and let's just jump right in. I don't really have a script for this or anything. This is me talking and telling my story. Hopefully I don't leave anything out. It all started back in July of 2016. That's when I got pregnant. I told my story about how I found out and everything, but I'll tell you guys a little bit. Basically, my last missed period was July 2nd. That's how they calculate your due date. The beginning of August came around and I was like, well, I know I had sex. I know, that's a possibility, but I don't think I'm pregnant, I'll give it a few days. I gave it about another week, still no period, and then I really got nervous because I was starting college in mid-August. I left August, what was it, 16th? Yeah, August 16th is when I left for college, and I was really worried because I knew I was going to college. I was like, what am I going to do if I'm pregnant, like right before I'm going to college? Another week went by, and on August 12th, I was running to Walmart to get a few things for my dorm, and I just decided to pick up a pregnancy test just in case, I was pregnant. So I went home and I took it, and it was positive right away. 2 blue lines, clear as day. At that point, I was still a little bit in denial, so I went to the doctor. I did, the P test, and my HCG levels were very, very high, they told me. So I was, in fact, pregnant. So that was 2 confirmations, and at that point I knew I was pregnant, and then I had to decide, what was I going to do? Was I going to tell my parents? Was I just going to go to college and act like I wasn't pregnant? Was I going to get an abortion? What was I going to do? So I decided to just act normal and act like nothing happened. In the back of my head it was always there, I'm pregnant, but I decided to just keep on going and pack for college. I left 4 days after I took the test, so I decided to just go ahead and go. And I knew in the back of my mind, I'm pregnant, and I still have a huge decision to make. My life's about to change regardless of the decision I make. My life is really going to change, but I had not made the decision about whether I was going to have an abortion or keep my baby. So therefore I just went to college, and yeah, August 16th, and I said goodbye to my parents. It was really hard because I was already not wanting to go because I was going to be homesick, and I knew I was going to be homesick, and I just wasn't ready. But on top of that, I had this huge secret, so it was kind of like an escape for me, but at the same time it was like, I feel really bad for this. I shouldn't be doing this. I should have told her when I knew this happened, but I didn't tell her. I didn't tell any of my family. I told her father, and I told a couple of close friends. Her father and I were not together, though it wasn't like a big, he didn't really care what I did, honestly. So I went to college, and the first couple weeks, they were pretty busy, so it kind of got my mind off of it. But of course, it was still in the back of my head. So I went ahead and decided to tell my mom. I was going to wait until Labor Day so I could tell her face to face when I was coming home to visit, but I ended up telling her while I was in college, while I was there, because I was already just feeling so bad, and I was like, I need to tell, I needed to tell her. So I told her. She cried Yeah, she did. She cried. She wasn't angry at me. She was just very disappointed, very sad, because she wanted better for me. And also the fact that she wished that I had told her when I found out, or told her like that I was sexually active, because she had no idea I was sexually active. But of course I knew my mom was going to support me. I knew that. It was very hard to tell her, but I did, and I have a video on how I told her as well. I did end up going home for Labor Day weekend, which was very, very difficult. It was a very rough weekend because it was the first time I saw my mom face to face, and we had to talk about it, you know. She was like, "You're gonna have to tell your dad." So I didn't end up telling my dad until I went to my first OB appointment, just to, you know, be sure, make sure that everything was okay and good and all that. So I did not end up telling him. My mom told him for me. It was a huge weight off my shoulders, even though I should have been the one to tell him. But you know, it's very hard to talk to, especially your dad, about those kind of things. It's hard enough with your mom, but telling your dad that you're pregnant, like that's hard for anybody. I would think, at least for me it was. He was also disappointed in me. He was not angry. In the end, he was supportive, you know. They both wanted to know like what I was gonna do. I told them I didn't know whether I wanted to keep the baby or have an abortion. They told me what they believe, because they don't believe in abortions, and you know, neither do I. But it was just, I knew it would be really hard to go through with the pregnancy and be in college, and it would change my life. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I went back to college, you know. I got into counseling, which was really, really, really good for me, because I got to talk about those feelings I had with a counselor, and it was very inexpensive, very, very inexpensive, since it was on college campus. Also, I saw a nurse there, and I told her about my pregnancy and everything. She told me basically, you know, the choice is yours to have an abortion or not have an abortion, but you need to get prenatal care if you're going to keep your baby. And so I had to decide whether I was going to have my baby while I was in school or come home and have her. My college was an hour and a half away. So I decided I was going to have my baby at home. I knew I wanted to do that, have my family and friends around me. And so then I had to make another decision whether or not I wanted to go back to school in the spring, or just, you know, take the semester off or transfer here. And I decided to take the spring semester. So the beginning of this year, January 2017, I decided to just, you know, not drop out, because I want to go back. So I don't call it dropping out. I hate when people say you dropped out of college to have a baby. I did not drop out of college. I'm taking a little break, and I plan to go back spring of 2018. Anyways, back to the story. So she told me you need to find an OB in your city. So my mom did that. She made me an appointment, and I went to that appointment, and I got to hear her heartbeat for the first time, which was the best thing ever. My mom was still, you know, she was still getting used to the fact that I was pregnant. She went with me, but she wasn't very, you know, excited. That's expected, you know. I didn't expect her to be super excited. She really wasn't excited until towards the end of my pregnancy, but I'll talk about that later. So I continued with my fall semester of college. My roommate was very supportive of me. God, I love her. Her name is Haley, and it's actually her birthday, so shout out to you, Haley. I knew her for a couple of years before college, so I picked her as my roommate, and we were just super close. We lived together for like 3-4 months, so she was very supportive. Of course, she knew that I was pregnant, and she was just like my biggest support. Honestly, I love her. Going to college every day while pregnant was a struggle. You know, I didn't want to get out of bed. I was exhausted. I was nauseous. I didn't have a lot of morning sickness, but some mornings I'd wake up and I'd just be nauseous, and then I'd try to eat and just make it worse, and I had to go to class, and I had to walk everywhere, and nobody really knew I was pregnant because I wasn't showing then. So, you know, it was hard. It was really, really hard. It was also just emotionally just difficult because I was homesick, but at the same time, home was hard for me because my parents were disappointed in me. So I never had that safe place where I was happy. But I made it, and I'm proud of myself. I finished with all the credits. Well, not all of them. I didn't really do good in algebra, but I finished with some credits. I got myself started and I made it through. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that, but I did, and I'm very glad I did. I came home December 16th, 15th, something around there. Best day of my life. I was home, I was happy, I was unpacked, and I didn't have to go back, and it was great. Things got better with my family. I opened up to my brothers about my pregnancy, and things were just getting better. I started to show, and that was interesting because, you know, I look 12, so every time I'd go out, people are like, how old are you? I also went back to work full-time, which was good up until the very end when I was in a lot of pain, but I made it. I worked up until the night before I went into labor, so I'm proud of myself for that too. I didn't go back to school. I didn't transfer anything, so I was just working full-time. I was a server, so lots of walking, lots of being on my feet, bending, reaching for things, all of that, but I did it. I had some great baby showers, and I think that's around the time when my mom just got really excited because she saw, like, oh my gosh, all the little girl stuff. And my dad, on the other hand, he wasn't really super excited until he saw her, you know, for the first time. But let me backtrack to when I found out the gender. I didn't have a gender reveal party or any of that, but I found out that she was a girl on November 23rd, 2016. My mom came with me to that appointment, and I didn't know if I wanted to find out the gender then or if I wanted to wait until, like, put it in an envelope and wait until, like, I got home, or just, like, wait until I don't know. I just couldn't decide if I wanted to find out then or wait, but I decided to find out at the appointment. They asked me, do you want to know the gender? And then I was like, yeah. And they were like, well, it looks like a girl. And then they showed me, like, her parts and everything. I just wanted to cry because I was so, like, happy. I don't know what I would have done with a boy, like, in this pink. You see all this pink and zebra? Like, how would I put a boy in here? At the same time, I just really wanted a girl. Like, I've always known that I wanted a baby girl. My first baby, I wanted her to be a girl, and I got my wish, and I was so happy. That's actually the first time I saw my mom get really excited. So, very great day. We went to the mall. My mom picked out her first outfit. You okay? She's just looking at herself over there. Fast forward to the end of my pregnancy, I just had regular OB appointments. I was working, like I said. I had one more ultrasound at 37 weeks. And she was 6 pounds and 9 ounces at that appointment. And they told me that she was measuring really good. Well, they told me she was measuring small, and that's why they wanted to do the ultrasound, but after the ultrasound, everything was great. My due date was April 8th, Saturday, April 8th, and I went into labor at exactly 39 weeks. It was a Friday night into Saturday. So Friday night I was working, everything was great, making money, you know, all that. And then I went into labor around midnight, and I labored at home all night, and then we went to the hospital in the morning, and I had this beautiful baby at 6:28 p.m. So all day I was in labor too, all night, all day. My water broke at 12:50. I don't remember what they said. It was like around 1 p.m. But they gave me my epidural very early. It was like 9 in the morning because I was already 4 centimeters when I got to the hospital. So I got my epidural, my water broke, and then I just continued to contract, and I pushed around 5, and she was born at 6:28. Sorry guys, I just put her down for a nap over there. But basically I just wanted to end the video by saying I did miss out on a lot of things. I missed out on a lot of opportunities in college, you know. I ended up having to leave my roommate. I didn't get to party. I didn't get to, like, live the college life. It was very difficult to do schoolwork and be pregnant at the same time, but I got through it, and I'm still going to reach my goals regardless of getting pregnant at a young age. She is the greatest blessing that, you know, I've ever received. I wouldn't change it for anything. She was born on April 1st, 2017, so she was 1 week early, and she was born at 6:28 p.m. weighing 6 pounds 14 ounces, and she was 20 inches long, and the most perfect baby ever. She's 3.5 months old, growing, learning every day. She's amazing already, and she's gonna be a great little girl, and I'm so glad that I am her mom, and I'm just ready to do everything I can for her. I want to go back to school, and I want to get my degree and also continue working so that I can provide for her, and just be able to move out one day and raise her in my own space, and find someone who will be a great, you know, father figure father figure to her. So that's my little spiel on that. Sorry, I've been like talking with my hands the whole entire video. That's just what I do to think. But thank you all so much for watching. If you all have any comments, questions, if you want to reach out to me, need advice, any of that, you can comment below, message me on Snapchat. All that good stuff will be in the description. Subscribe, thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!